woman, you strike a rock. A famous saying that dates back ages, which in essence defines exactly what a woman is, a rock. To commemorate these pillars of our society, the United Nations introduced a broad topic of discussion, which reads as follows: think equally, build smart, and innovate for change. Now, I am Peniel Kanda, your host as usual, and with me today in studio, I have my wonderful and beautiful co-host, Patricia Nzuzi, and she will be our French correspondent for the day. Over to you, Patricia.
Bienvenue sur le podium de TCI Ministries. Comme vous venez de suivre Peniel, c'est le mois de la femme et nous sommes en train de développer cette topic qui a déjà été abordé dans les numéros plus deux numéros avant. On est au troisième. Nous avons quelques invités avec nous sur le podium que je veux vous présenter tout à l'heure. Ils vont finir leur présentation eux-mêmes. Nous avons à ma droite Deborah Chitamba. Deborah, bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Tu peux t'introduire à ceux qui nous suivent?
Okay, I'm Debbie Chitamba, and I'm a singer at TCI Ministry, and accountant and businesswoman. Thank you.
Kenta Eulu, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. I'm Kaitan Nizet Ewulu. I'm an information and knowledge management student at the University of Johannesburg, currently doing my third and final year. And I'm very passionate about business intelligence and data analysis, and would like to venture into CI, and I'm a strong supporter of women equality and women empowerment as well.
Dorcas Rachidi, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Je m'appelle Dorcas Rachidi. I'm studying civil engineering, and I'm a person who believes in self-development and self-growth. Thank you.
Vanessa Karaj Moembo, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Je m'appelle Vanessa Karaj, je suis accountant et project manager. Yeah, that's it.
Merci, on va de l'autre côté. De l'autre côté, nous avons Maria Paolo Raphaël, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. I'm Maria Paula Rafael. I'm a law student with a major in English literature at the University of Johannesburg, and I'm a poet as well.
Pasteur Jérémy Kitamba, bonsoir.
Bonsoir, je suis pasteur Jérémy, pasteur assistant à TCI Ministries. C'est là où je sers le Seigneur et je suis content d'être là pour parler de la femme.
Bonsoir Sarah Anzuluni.
Bonsoir, my name is Sarah Nzuluni. I like to see myself as an advocate for change, one who believes in the development of women and the development of self. Thank you.
Voilà, là nous allons continuer, mais avant d'aller plus loin, on va d'abord suivre ces clips vidéo de Madame Pumzile Mulambo, qui est Executive Director of UN.
Happy International Women's Day. At a time when innovation is changing the way people live in every part of the world, we have to make sure it is used positively to impact the lives of women and girls. That means making sure that they are not only consumers of innovation, but they take their place as innovators. This year's theme for International Women's Day, Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change, puts innovation at the center of efforts to reflect the needs and viewpoints of women and girls, and to resolve barriers to public services and opportunities. For example, we have seen how mobile money technology can deliver social benefits to vulnerable households, and how smart inventions like a drone designed by a 15-year-old Nigerian Eno Ekamen can ensure life-saving medication reaches patients in rural areas. Women's fresh, relevant thinking also brings transformative change to major physical infrastructure. Varinesese Mai Samoa, president of the Raki Raki Market Vendors Association in Fiji, provided the key insights that led to the modernization and rebuilding of the market after Tropical Cyclone Winston. Her contributions to the designs helped to address the varied needs of women, who are the primary users of the market. We are also using technology to share important stories like this through innovative, voice-enabled technologies like Alexa. The fourth industrial revolution has the greatest potential to impact people in the most isolated areas because of far-reaching ubiquity of mobile phones. 80% of women in the world now own mobile phones, an increase of 250 million since 2014. Even though the digital gender gap still exists, this represents an opportunity to serve women even better. Women and marginalized groups need to have an opportunity to create and provide feedback on what is created by others. In any of these scenarios, innovation and technology with a gender perspective is crucial. Women and girls must have opportunities to help shape the policies, services, and infrastructure that impact their lives. That is why we created the Gender Innovation Principles, so that women in technology and innovative fields can be empowered also in the workplace. When we put the focus on those who are least heard and least visible, we are tackling some of the deepest social problems that are holding us back from the progress we all want to see. We also must not forget the negative impacts of technology and its potential to exacerbate inequalities and affect women's security. This International Women's Day, let us use technology and innovation to drive positive change for all women and girls of the world. Thank you.
On a été enseigné dans la société que la femme, on lui a donné certains rôles dans la société. Est-ce que c'est dû à ces rôles-là qu'il y a injustice, qu'on sous-estime la femme sur le point social, sur le point professionnel, moral?
Ce que je peux dire est que la femme ancestrale diffère largement de la femme nouvelle. C'est vrai, à la femme ancestrale, on a attribué beaucoup de choses. À la femme ancestrale, il a été dit qu'elle n'était là que pour faire des enfants, rester à la maison, préparer et faire toutes ces choses-là. Vous voyez un peu, donc les tâches ménagères. Mais ce que nous voyons aujourd'hui, c'est un peu autre chose. Et si nous essayons de faire, comment je peux dire, si nous essayons d'établir l'échelle entre la femme ancestrale et la femme nouvelle, on peut dire que les choses ont pratiquement changé. Moi, je trouve que ce sont des choses qui sont passées. Et si jusqu'aujourd'hui, on doit considérer cette attribution-là, ces attributions-là plutôt, pour moi, ça serait injuste.
Donc, avec l'émancipation d'aujourd'hui, vous pensez que la femme est vraiment,
oui,
elle est exposée à s'épanouir et à sortir ce qu'elle a en elle comme potentiel?
En tout cas, pour moi, oui. Elle a tous ces droits-là de s'épanouir, en fait.
Pasteur Jérémy, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
Bon, d'abord, je dirais que la femme est sous-estimée par rapport à des dogmes, de paradigmes qui existent déjà, parce qu'on croyait, comme vous venez de le dire, que la femme est un sous-être. Bien qu'il y ait émancipation aujourd'hui, cette notion-là est restée ancrée dans la tête de la femme. Il y a certaines femmes qui s'émancipent, mais il y en a qui restent avec ces anciennes idées-là. Il est difficile de sortir quelqu'un de l'esclavage, mais il est facile que quelqu'un sorte de l'esclavage, mais il est difficile de sortir la mentalité d'esclave dans la personne. Si bien qu'il y a aujourd'hui l'émancipation de la femme, mais à cause de ce que l'humanité connaît déjà, certaines femmes sont restées avec ces idées-là et elles se sous-estiment elles-mêmes, elles sont sous-estimées par d'autres personnes qui restent avec la mentalité ancestrale. Mais ce que nous pouvons proposer, c'est de dire à la femme que nous ne sommes plus dans ce siècle-là où la femme est considérée comme un être de seconde main. Aujourd'hui, nous comprenons que la femme est un être comme tout autre être, elle est égale à l'homme, elle peut faire ce que l'homme peut faire.
Mais est-ce que, comme vous êtes en train de dire, Peniel, excuse-moi pour une seconde, comme vous êtes en train de dire, c'est dans la mentalité de la femme. Mais est-ce que ce n'est pas aussi dans la mentalité de l'homme? Parce que l'homme aujourd'hui, dans la communauté, sur le plan professionnel, on a vu plusieurs exemples où l'homme sous-estime la femme. À quoi cela est dû?
Bon, c'est pas seulement dans la mentalité de la femme elle-même, mais c'est dans la mentalité générale de tous ceux qui réfléchissent. Vous voyez, depuis la nuit de temps, la femme a toujours été considérée comme un second être, de par sa position dans la création. Elle a été créée après l'homme. Et on a une mauvaise façon de penser, comme si le fait d'être créé après l'homme fait d'elle une personne inférieure par rapport à l'homme. Alors plusieurs hommes avec plusieurs traditions sont restés dans cette idée-là de croire que l'on est supérieur. Mais la Bible est claire quand elle parle de l'homme et de la femme. La Bible dit, Dieu, au commencement, Dieu a créé l'homme et la femme. Donc nous tous, nous sommes des créatures. La femme n'est pas un être dérivé. C'est une créature de Dieu au même point d'égalité que l'homme. Mais c'est par ce que nous avons appris que nous voulons la maintenir dans cette position-là. Et pourtant, elle n'est pas appelée à rester dans la position inférieure.
Peniel, over to you.
All right, so let's give the English people a chance to express themselves, shall we? All right, so it's one thing to blame the generational ideology that has been, how should I say, rooted into the minds of men and women over years and years, that the man is superior to the woman and that the woman's place is in the kitchen or in the house and whatnot. However, as Vanessa had stated, that today's women is not the same as women from years and years ago. We're exposed to many different things, especially many different people. So my question to our panel is, do you think that maybe peer pressure also contributes towards a woman's, how should I say, inability to expand or to grow socially? I'm gonna give Debbie this question to begin with.
Okay, thank you. What I can say, I wanted to go back with what the first question was. Because I can say in olden days, we did not have that opportunity to vote as women. But I can say I thank God because now we have that opportunity to vote. That shows that the world have developed. And they have seen that we also have some ability in us. We have that intelligence in us that we can bring something in the community. So they decided, no, they have to give us that value, what I can say. So peer pressure, yes, it can destroy, what I can say, the growth of women, female, in the community, in the country surrounding us.
Okay, to answer your question, peer pressure is very integral in a person's life. It's what makes and breaks a person. You need to be mentally strong so that nobody else influences you. Behavior is what we pick up. You're not born with certain behavior. Character is developed. You pick it up from somewhere. So in terms of peer pressure, it depends on, first of all, it's not just peer pressure, it's yourself. If you're easily deterred, you're easily influenced, yes, you're not going to go anywhere in life. You're not going to have direction. Because if you have direction, anyone can derail you from where you want to go. And coming back to the first question, I wouldn't say that there's still inequality among, like, okay, it is there, but it has decreased a little bit because over time, change is a process. It's not something that happens like over the night. No, it takes long. So it is happening, but it's not happening at a pace where we are happy with it. But it is happening. So there should be a certain amount of satisfaction. So yeah, peer pressure does play a role in a woman's development because I feel like women sometimes are easily influenced by their friends. Because if I feel like, Peniel, you getting married, and I'm like, Peniel's my friend, she's already getting married, all my friends are getting married.
I should get married.
I give up on my dreams because all my friends are getting married, but that's not what I was sent you to do. You know, be focused on what you want to do as a person before you focus on what other person want to do, because we're not all the same. So peer pressure, yes, it does play, besides equality or looking at it from the man perspective, yeah, peer pressure does play an important role.
Yeah, now when speaking about peer pressure, let's take this a step further. When we speak about peer pressure, in today's modern day, a woman's first peer is her husband or her spouse, right? So let's take it over onto this side. Maria, how do you think maybe marital status or age or perhaps motherhood affects or limits a woman in terms of social growth?
Well, I'll say in terms of age, we all have plans set up for our lives, right? And when you haven't accomplished a certain thing that you planned for your life at a certain age, you become like stressed out and you think that you're a failure. The same deals with marriage. So there are certain standards and norms that we think are permanent for us to achieve in marriage and motherhood. When we reach that stage, we tend to forget that we all different and that my story is not your story and what I go through was not your experience. So I don't think that motherhood, age, and marriage will actually influence us how we impact society.
Okay. Sarah, let's hear, you've been quiet, so let's hear what your bit is on the matter.
There's a lot to be said with marriage and career and the development of a woman. I do believe your spouse plays a very important role in who you are and what you will become. Because if you're involved with a partner who hasn't accepted the emancipation of women, who hasn't accepted that a woman can have a career and still look after a family, then you will definitely have a challenge of a sort. But whereas if you have a partner who has accepted it, who respects it, and is willing to support you, then you can move forward in your life as a woman. I just want us to go back a little bit. If we look into African societies, African countries, most of the busiest places in any African country is always the market. But the markets are ran by women. Yet women are never given that platform or that exposure to say that these are the people who are managing our economy, they are managing our finances. So you find that these women who have been in business for centuries, it's businesses that they learn from their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunts, their neighbors. They've been looking after families, yet running successful businesses that they leave over to their children. So your spouse plays a very important role in what you will become, but it first starts with you as a woman. You must have an idea of where it is that you're going.
What about children?
I believe us women have always been able to multitask, and I know of women who have been doing law degrees, whereas they're pregnant, they've been giving birth in a course of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. She's been studying, yet she's been giving birth to children. So like every other thing in life, it's never really a challenge for us if, like I said, you have a spouse who is supportive of you, who understands you. But it becomes a challenge when it's something you're doing on your own, where you have to separate your career and your children. You shouldn't have to separate the two. You should work with both of them and pursue your goals.
So basically, a support structure is
very important.
Imperative. All right, great. So Patricia, over to you.
Je veux rentrer vers Vanessa encore, parce que c'est, je pense, la plus grande dame ici, n'est-ce pas? Ok, je blague, toutes les dames sont plus grandes. Voilà. Vanessa, penses-tu que la culture et la religion influencent la femme à ses complexes d'infériorité par rapport à l'homme?
À cette question, je dirais oui, je dirais aussi non. Pourquoi je dirais oui? Parce qu'il y a certaines églises, et dans ces églises-là, on enseigne à la femme d'être toujours inférieure à l'homme. C'est vrai, la femme doit être inférieure à l'homme, mais il faudrait faire comprendre à la femme comment doit-elle être inférieure à l'homme. Parce que ce n'est pas qu'en toute chose, elle doit être inférieure à l'homme. Parce qu'il y a des choses que la femme peut faire que l'homme ne peut pas. Tout comme il y a des choses que l'homme peut faire et la femme ne peut pas. Et si elle a déjà cette mentalité-là que je dois être inférieure à l'homme, même si elle connaît, si un problème survenait, elle connaît la réponse, ou elle a peut-être la solution à ces problèmes, elle ne saura pas s'exprimer. Pourquoi? Parce qu'elle a déjà cette mentalité ancrée en elle. Donc ça sera difficile. Vous voyez.
Je vais rentrer vers Dorcas. Dorcas, tu penses que cette soumission de la femme à l'homme la rend inférieure?
I don't think so. I feel like, for me, I believe in self-development. So it all comes to what is inside there. It's all about what you think about yourself. If you believe that your religion said that you must be inferior to your husband, then that's what you will carry on doing. But if you believe that, yes, I do not believe in being inferior to your husband. It's all about knowing what a woman does in a marriage. What is your responsibility as a wife? It's not about being inferior or superior to your partner. So religion, I don't feel like, yes, it does influence how women think, but it's all about yourself.
Je vais rentrer vers Déborah, qui est aussi en passant évangéliste aussi. Déborah, est-ce que réellement la Bible demande à la femme d'être inférieure à l'homme?
Going back to the Bible, what I can say that the man is the chief of the house. He deserves the respect. We need to respect him as women, but it doesn't mean that respecting him is for you to go back to see that you are nothing. As women, we need to put something in mind that we are someone, we are somebody. A man cannot be pregnant, but us, we can be pregnant. You can give birth, a man can't give birth. That shows that there's a difference. So we need to bring up that difference. We need to show that we are capable of doing something that a man cannot do. So by that, they need to be respect. They need to be, you need to be down as women. There are most of women in the house, they think that getting a job, working, you are above your husband. But that's not the way. As Christian, we need to respect them, give them that value. But we are still somebody. We are not that what the world can say. That's what I can say.
All right, so as Debbie said, earning more or working whereas your husband is not working does not make you superior to your husband. Even the Bible condemns so. However, it's one thing to be submissive, but it's another thing to almost be, an abuse of that power because I'm submitting to my husband. Now he abuses that power and begins to abuse me in turn. However, it doesn't mean that because it's wrong, there's any end to it. Because if it had been like, if there was a stop to it, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. If it continues, it's because there are women who allow this abuse and this, how should I say, this undermining of a female by a man to continue. So why do women allow themselves to be undermined? Why is gender-based violence tolerated by women till this day? Dorcas?
It goes back to the same thing. It's all about your mentality. But for some, it's what they have been taught. Like, the first question was asking about generational. It is true. Some people, it comes from generations. How we call it, it's mental slavery. It's something that we have to work on as women, because women still have that mentality that I belong somewhere. You have to break through from the mental slavery first.
Let me take it over to this side. Maria, what's your take on the issue?
Well, I agree with Dorcas because it's all about indoctrination, what you have been taught to believe that is right in society. Because as children, we learn through observation. So you see that your mom is allowing abuse in the house, so you grow with that. You see it outside, you see it in social media, you see it everywhere. So you grow with that and you allow it also to happen to you because you think it's normal. So your mindset tells you it's normal, although it's not normal. And we have to actually move from that. We should actually analyze things and notice this is not okay, this is not normal, it's hurting me, so I shouldn't allow it. That's what I think.
All right, so I'm just going to go a bit off the guidelines of what we had planned and ask you guys. Do you think that the government in South Africa, for example, whereby most women earn more than men, and we have women who are occupying high positions in parliament, for example, but if there's women who are so empowered in the work field, why is South Africa one of the highest ranked countries when it comes to gender-based violences? Do you think it's a role that it's something the government isn't doing, or is it just the woman's fault? Sarah.
Okay, if I can answer that, I'm not so sure. You mentioned something about women earning more than men. There's still a challenge where you find women in the same position as men. In a corporate, I will give an example in a corporate
All right,
company.
then in terms of those who do earn more than men.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, you find that she's earning a lot of money. A lot of the issues we face in society are not always as a result of the government. Why do I say that? Because if I'm a woman and I'm working in a particular enterprise or a company, and I find that my colleague is doing the same thing as I'm doing, or if maybe I'm even doing a better job than what I think he's doing, yet I get paid less, it is my responsibility to go forth to my HR manager, whoever it is that is in charge, and explain to them that this is the challenge that I'm facing, because it is still some form of gender-based violence. And it's a reality in South Africa where there are women who, they have the same jobs as their male colleagues, yet they get paid less than they do. So it is a challenge that is not only something that can be solved by government, but it's a value that us women have to place on ourselves when we enter the workplace. First of all, not to take the first offer given to us. We must know our own worth. So it goes back to the question of how we were brought up, how much we value what we've studied, how much we value what we can give as value to the company where we are. So it plays a big role, but it's more to do with us than it is to do with government. Yes.
I saw Caton was itching from his seat. Okay, sir, let's hear from you.
I think it's a two-way thing. Government does play a role. The corporate world does play a role. We have things that we call acts.
But remember, we're not discussing innovation. We're going to go into that later into the show. I'm talking about violence inside the home. You see men killing their girlfriends, their wives, their partners.
Well, because you first say that women earning more than men, but in terms of violence, I think it's more tolerance than any other thing. If it becomes, in terms of violence, it's tolerance. If I feel like where the environment I'm in is toxic for me, why do I linger in that environment? The best thing to do is leave that environment. So it has nothing to do with the environment, it's tolerance. I tolerate that person, I accept to go through all that violence. The government has nothing to do with that, inequality has nothing to do with that.
But don't you think the government could set an example for these men?
No. Mental, the way my train of thought is not the same as the next guy. We think differently. The government cannot place, I can tell you what to do.
Oh, so it's the whole not in my name thing.
Exactly. I can tell you what to do. I can't force you to do what I've told you to do. So if you feel like a woman, no. It's not even about earning more. There are women who don't even earn anything, but they stay there. It's simple. Tolerance, acceptance.
Okay.
Voilà, Building Smart. Building Smart nous parle c'est la partie où nous voulons parler de la construction du caractère de la femme. Est-ce que la femme qui est un facteur très important dans la société a-t-elle vraiment besoin de booster sa confiance? A-t-elle besoin de son indépendance pour ressortir les valeurs de la femme dans la société en tant que un membre effectif dans la société? Comment la femme peut-elle contribuer dans cette société? Peniel, qu'est-ce que tu en dis?
When we speak about Building Smart, basically we talk about the development and empowerment of women in society and what aspects hinder or promote this. As such, we're going to be discussing how and why a woman should build herself before she builds any other aspect or before she builds any other part of her life or herself in society. So, Debbie, why do you think it is important for a woman to build herself before any other thing?
Okay, I will say because if you hate yourself and you are living a reckless life, probably you should work on your own a little before you can invest in something else or in somebody else. You need to first to build something, build a career, build your own responsibility. What I can say to yourself.
So,
I'd simply like to add on that. It's as integral for a woman to build herself as it is integral for men to build herself. What we normally know that before a man gets out of his parents' house, he needs to be settled, needs to have a job and everything. Why is not that same emphasis that is placed on men placed on women as well? Because if I can't self-motivate myself, I can't expect someone else to motivate me, because if I look at myself low, it doesn't matter what you say to me. Internally, I'm degrading myself. You can't uplift me if I'm not uplifted. I need to be the fuel of myself before anybody fuels me up. You get what I'm saying?
On comprend un peu ce que Quentin est en train de dire, mais la question comme telle, la femme a été privée pendant plusieurs temps de certaines habilités intellectuelles, et même dans la société aujourd'hui, on a des enfants par exemple qui n'ont pas la possibilité d'aller à l'école, d'où la famille priorise d'abord le garçon avant de prioriser la fille. Est-ce que la femme dans la société aujourd'hui, est-elle restée un peu en arrière? A-t-elle vraiment besoin de se former dans ces sens? Pasteur Jérémy?
Moi, je pense que, comme on le dit, la liberté s'arrache. Si elle a été défavorisée, aujourd'hui, elle sait qu'elle a été défavorisée. Donc, elle doit chercher à s'épanouir. Si elle reste derrière, ce n'est plus la faute de ceux qui l'ont défavorisée, mais c'est de sa propre faute. Parce que maintenant, elle a déjà conscience qu'elle est défavorisée. Si elle ne veut pas s'épanouir, donc elle restera jusqu'à quand? C'est maintenant le temps. On dit, la société même dit, éduquer une femme, c'est éduquer toute une nation. Alors on donne la possibilité, aujourd'hui la possibilité est donnée à tout le monde. Il n'est pas seulement question d'aller à l'école, on peut se forger de plusieurs manières. Ce dont nous avons besoin, c'est une femme qui s'élève et qui peut s'imposer. Il y a des femmes qui font des choses aujourd'hui pour prouver que ce que les hommes pensaient d'antan n'est pas ce qu'elle est réellement. Mais donc aujourd'hui dans le monde, personne n'a le droit de bloquer l'autre pour ne pas avancer. Tout le monde peut s'imposer.
Y a-t-il quelqu'un qui veut compléter?
Oui. À ces propos, moi je dirais, avant de chercher à s'épanouir, la femme doit d'abord connaître de quoi elle est capable. Parce que même si nous parlons de la femme ancestrale, si nous faisons un pas en arrière, nous allons parler de ces femmes comme par exemple Simone de Beauvoir. Vous voyez, cette femme-là, c'est une femme dont tous, je ne sais pas, pour nous qui avions étudié au Congo, nous avions étudié cette femme-là, on a parlé de cette femme-là. C'était en quelle année? C'était aux temps anciens, mais elle s'était imposée. Pourquoi elle s'était imposée? Parce qu'elle savait de quoi elle était capable. Vous voyez, c'est parfois les femmes ont tendance à reculer. Pourquoi? Parce qu'elles se disent que je peux faire ceci et elle va se moquer de moi. Ou par exemple, elle se trouve inférieure à une autre femme. Moi, je ne sais pas pourquoi. Je trouve que il faudrait que nous puissions aider ces femmes-là à comprendre d'abord, à rentrer en elles-mêmes, faire, je peux dire, peut-être un examen de conscience, où elles doivent se dire que je suis aussi capable de faire ça. Lorsque je suis venue ici...
Mais pour qu'elle arrive à ce point-là, à se dire que je suis capable, est-ce que n'a-t-elle pas besoin d'une instruction, d'une formation?
Bon, je trouve qu'il y a certaines choses qui sont aussi en nous, les femmes. On n'a pas seulement besoin d'être aussi instruite, ou on n'a pas seulement besoin que quelqu'un vienne nous dire ou quelqu'un vienne nous pousser. Non, tout commence par nous-mêmes d'abord. De quoi suis-je capable, par exemple? À quoi est-ce que je suis appelé? Qu'est-ce que de moi-même, sans l'aide d'une autre personne, je peux faire? Parce que c'est mieux qu'on t'aide, c'est mieux je peux dire, si quelqu'un doit t'aider, que la personne vienne t'aider et te trouve au deuxième pas, pas au premier pas. Je trouve que c'est sous-estimer soi-même.
All right, so I'm going to turn towards Maria really quickly because she's been itching to give input. So, Maria?
Well, I like to say that when you look at the aspect of building someone else, you can't build if you haven't built yourself. It's just like you cannot guide someone to a road you have never been. They'll get lost just like you are lost.
But it's one thing to know you need to build yourself.
Yes.
Now that we've identified the problem, let's try to come up with a solution in terms of how does a woman build herself? Because you've all identified the importance of building herself, right? And everybody has mentioned why we have been hindered from building ourselves. But how do you build yourself?
Tout dépend de ce que tu veux d'abord. et ce que tu cherches? Quel est l'objectif que toi tu poursuis? Parce que beaucoup ont échoué. Pourquoi elles ont échoué? Parce qu'elles ont essayé de copier chez les autres. Mais ce que nous oublions est que chaque femme a un propre questionnaire auquel elle doit répondre. Mais si toi tu veux copier chez l'autre, là tu vas échouer. Il est question d'abord que tu saches qu'est-ce que tu cherches. Et sur base de ça, là tu seras facilement orienté.
And the other thing I wanted to say is that as a person, you don't need someone to push you. The other thing is people have to stop making excuses for themselves. It's an excuse saying that I didn't go to school. You are making excuses. You have to stop limiting yourself by trying to find who to blame for what you're going through. As she said, you don't need anyone to push you, so don't make excuses.
Mais tu seras d'accord avec moi que dans la société, on a d'autres personnes qui, naturellement comme ça, par rapport à son environnement, s'est dit que je ne peux rien. Je ne peux rien. Comment vas-tu réveiller cette personne?
Yeah.
Can I say something? Based on this issue, what I understand is that most of women, there are some people, they are capable of maybe of plaiting hair. That is the example that I'm giving. They know how to plait hair, they know how to dance, they know how to sing, but they're just afraid. That moment they need somebody to come and tell them, you know that you are capable of plaiting. You can go and seek for a job. You are capable of singing.
Yes, but do you always need someone to tell you?
Yes, in life there is somebody.
Wait. I do not agree that I need somebody to tell me
Okay, that's you.
express my purpose.
That's you. It depends on some people. They know that, oh, I know how to do hair. I need to go and look for a job.
Wait. If we friends and you're a hairdresser, but I'm not a hairdresser, I'm not going to motivate you in something.
No,
I'm not.
Maybe she's not saying it in a way of direction, but as
Yes.
motivation.
To motivate you.
Can I say something there? I think that when you talk about sponsor, for example, they don't motivate people only in what they know how to do. They do also with those other profession or other qualities that they find in people.
In terms of sponsors, I mean, you can't go with a business application or a business what you call it? A business proposal. But then you're not confident in what you're giving.
You can't expect
why
them
must I
to
trust?
sell you
Why must
for
I
them.
give you money when you're not confident in yourself? Why must I confide in you with my
Before we
millions?
take the show on to this side, can we just hear someone from this side really quickly?
You can't always wait for someone to come and wake you up.
Yes.
Because it's not everyone who
But
needs
it's
that
not
to
as
wake
much
you up.
direction
Wait,
as it
Danielle,
is motivation,
wait.
right?
Let's put something else. There's certain people in life, okay? They're just dull. Like they're just dull. Like you say a
that's
joke
harsh.
which is extremely funny. I mean, you're laughing alone, but they just like it makes you feel like, what am I not that funny? You know. Before anyone else, that's why the key here is building yourself. What is you're building?
But motivation
yourself.
plays a big role towards
No,
building
wait,
yourself.
wait.
Self-motivate yourself.
Maria?
You don't always need someone to motivate you.
Sarah has been quiet. Can we just hear from Sarah, please?
Actually, I disagree with the comment that's been made on the side because we don't live in isolation. We don't live alone.
No man is an island.
Yes, no man is an island, and you are always influenced by your environment, whether you like it or not. And to say that you shouldn't wait for someone to come and motivate you, I think it's biased. It's a one-sided judgment because they could be that somebody who has a gift according to other people, but they may not see the opportunity in their gift. They may not see that they're able to excel in what it is that they're doing. So they do need not necessarily the motivation,
Guidance
but they need
more.
someone to help them build. Since we're
Yes.
building,
Wait, what you're saying is you need someone to wake you up. If that's what you say, to tell you that this is what
To
you're good
guide
at.
you,
not
Katen.
necessarily wake you up, but to show you the possibilities of what you have, and how you can monetize
Why
it.
That's
how you
there's
waking
can
you
no
make
one
up.
to
something
do
out of
that?
it.
What happens to you if there's no one to motivate you, to wake you up, to speak?
We are living in the world where there is people.
But we also live in a world of injustice.
Can we hear from Pastor really quickly? The man of God must have something to say.
On risque de donner des excuses à certaines femmes pour dire moi,
Thank
je
you.
suis défavorisé.
Thank you.
J'ai pas eu quelqu'un pour me faire étudier.
Thank you.
J'ai pas eu de possibilités. Et
But
pourtant,
isn't education a completely
Can I say
different
something?
approach?
Wait.
À décourager
Yes.
et à 100%.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Laziness is not an excuse.
But it's
Wait,
not laziness.
wait,
Non,
It's
on ne
all
parle
the
pas, on ne parle
efforts.
pas de la paresse.
Yes.
On est en train de
Wait.
parler d'une personne
To guide
qui
you
se
on how
retrouve
to use your
dans un
skills.
environnement où pour lui il s'est dit je ne peux rien faire.
Non, non. Au fait, je vais vous dire une chose. Je peux parler un peu en tant que bibliste. Si vous lisez dans la Bible, là où on parle d'une femme, c'est un événement spécial.
Yes.
Si vous lisez dans toute la Bible, lorsqu'on parle d'une femme, c'est un événement spécial. C'est-à-dire qu'il y a des femmes qui se sont dit, malgré que je suis femme, j'ai quelque chose à dire. Mais maintenant, la société a facilité la tâche à toutes les femmes. Donc, on peut se former, s'informer.
I
de
think,
toutes les
can I
manières
just
possibles.
quickly contradict the man of God? I think saying the society has facilitated development for all women is blatantly wrong. Because if society had facilitated development for every woman all around the world, we wouldn't be sitting here in this panel having
Let
this
me answer
conversation.
your
Moi
question.
aussi, je
Wait.
te contredis
I
sur
also
ce point-là.
wait.
Moi
Feel
aussi,
free.
je vais te contredire sur ce point-là. Comment peux-tu concevoir le fait que toi-même, tu sais que je peux faire ça, mais tu attends quelqu'un pour venir te dire que voilà, il faut faire ça. C'est inconcevable.
It's
Et
not
puis, c'est
someone
une
to
mentalité à
tell
décourager.
you.
Je peux
Wait.
dire quelque chose. Si déjà
pas
au
encourager
départ,
ces choses-là.
si déjà au départ, tu ne connais pas très bien de quoi tu es capable, est-ce que tu ne penses pas que tu as besoin de quelqu'un pour t'aider
Why do you go to
No,
school?
no,
à
wait,
découvrir
wait,
ce
wait.
qui est pour
Jusqu'à
toi?
Why do you go
Wait,
to
le bon
school?
Tu
chemin.
vas rester
Wait,
là
can I-
sans pour autant savoir de quoi tu es capable. Jusqu'à quel âge? Parce que
Tu as,
si j'ai
tu as
10
des
ans,
gens, tu as
But
des gens,
that's
tu
a
as des
different
gens,
aspect.
tu as des
Age
gens
is a
qui n'ont
completely
jamais été
different
exposés.
approach to
Listen.
this.
Il y a des gens qui n'ont jamais été exposés à la technologie, par exemple,
Exactly.
No.
qui ne
To
savent pas
this
que
day,
quand j'ai un téléphone, par exemple,
I
je
can
peux
do
faire
this, I can do
ABCD.
this. Exactly.
Pour lui,
Not everybody.
comme il n'a jamais été exposé, il sait que le téléphone, c'est décrocher, raccrocher, c'est tout.
Let me just answer your question very
Et
simple.
une telle
before we-
personne, est-ce qu'elle n'a-t-elle pas besoin d'une personne à côté de
To
lui pour lui
teach.
dire tu as telle application
It's
et
the
telle
basic
application et telle
reason why we
application?
go to school.
But can I tell you one
S'il vous
thing?
plaît.
If you're
S'il
gonna
vous plaît.
Okay.
En fait, ce que nous sommes en train de dire, nous ne disons pas que l'instruction, instruire une femme est interdite. Non. On doit l'instruire. Mais d'abord, ce que nous voulons, c'est que le travail que nous sommes en train de faire là, c'est de susciter cet intérêt-là dans le chef de la femme elle-même.
Well, how?
Non.
How does a woman learn about everything she can do if there's no one to approach her and teach her
Can I
or
tell-
show her that you
Peniel.
can do this? These are the opportunities open to you.
Peniel,
Yes.
do you think every man that exists today that's taking care of their family, somebody told them that this is what you're capable of?
And there are some things
No,
that
it's
are
simple.
just.
I'm asking you. No, it's a simple question because you're putting
I
so
don't
much
think the
emphasis.
example is appropriate.
No, I feel like you. No,
Je pense que si on a cette émission aujourd'hui, pour ceux qui vont nous suivre, c'est pour essayer de réveiller l'esprit
Exactly.
en ceux-là qui sont endormis encore.
listen, there's a difference.
Exactement.
The first thing a person, before I motivate you, you need to know yourself.
But not everybody is
wait,
the same. Some
wait.
people need to be pushed towards being motivated. That's the
Okay, why must
why do
I
people
put so
go?
much energy on you? What about me? What about me?
Because we are not all born knowing what we need to do. I'll give you an example. At the age, hold on, I'll give you an example. I'm not participating in a debate or whatever. I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page here. At the age of 9, I knew what I wanted to do. And now, 10 years later, 11 years later, I'm doing exactly what I said I would do when I was 9. Whereas I have a younger brother who's almost about to finish his secondary education and he still doesn't know what to do. These are the people, there are some people who are born knowing what they want to do, and there are other people who need guidance. I'm not saying tell them this is what you need to do. You were born and you're open to technology and you're open to so many different resources. Whereas there are people in the sub-Saharan parts of Africa who don't even know how to switch on a TV.
You do need someone to help you, but the thing is, you don't have to make it an excuse. 'Cause
We're
if
not
some-
saying
No,
making
we're not
it an
saying
excuse.
an
We're
excuse.
saying
Let me
making
explain
it
myself.
a
It
point.
sounds like you guys are trying to make it an excuse.
If
for
that's
some
what you
women.
caught from what we're
Let
saying,
me
then we're
explain.
sorry.
Let me make my point. You are saying that some people need to be waken up, but before they wake, I have to see something before I wake you up. I can't just come out of nowhere and I tell you must do business. I need to see it.
That's why
Yeah,
I
but you
say
can approach
Ok,
me and
le
say,
pasteur
you
Jérémie
can
veut
do
dire
this.
quelque chose, si on peut
Yes.
l'écouter.
En fait, je voulais dire que nous ne devons pas...
Okay, just so you know,
No,
after
no.
the pastor's statement, we have to close
Nous
this question.
ne
We
devons
need to
pas
move
parler
on.
comme des extraterrestres. Nous sommes sur cette terre et même sur ce plateau ici. Si nous comptons le nombre d'hommes, nous ne sommes qu'à 2. Ce sont des femmes. Je peux vous poser la question, les femmes qui sont ici. Qui vous a dit que vous pouvez aussi et faire une émission comme vous êtes en train de le faire.
Ouais.
The person who has me sitting
Et
here.
encore, combien de femmes qui ont le temps de suivre les émissions comme ça?
True.
C'est-à-dire, parfois le problème, ce n'est pas les éducateurs ou les instructeurs. Le
Amen.
problème, c'est très souvent la femme elle-même. C'est le travail que nous sommes en train de faire maintenant. Si la femme doit croire en elle-même, même quand on dira qu'elle doit être instruite, elle va venir.
Mais
Si elle
pour
ne
une
croit
femme,
pas-
pour une femme qui n'était pas exposée, qui n'a pas vu
Okay, Patricia,
tout ça là,
literally right after
I
this,
wanna
we have to
close
move on.
with this one.
Okay.
Qui n'a pas été exposée, qui est exposée maintenant, et qu'elle voudrait s'instruire. Comment doit-elle faire maintenant?
L'instruction aujourd'hui, c'est pas une mer à boire, c'est pas aller au ciel, c'est sur la terre. Aujourd'hui, il y a des formations à tous les niveaux. À tous les niveaux. Question seulement qu'elle sache ce qu'elle veut, elle trouvera, et il y a moyen qu'elle se soit aidée. Celles qui n'ont pas étudié, qui donnent comme excuse qu'elles n'ont pas étudié. Il y a des cours d'alphabétisation. Aujourd'hui, l'Internet est à la portée de tout le monde. Est-ce qu'on a dit que les vieilles femmes ne peuvent pas apprendre? Tout le monde peut apprendre. Alors, nous voulons que la femme se rende compte que si elle ne veut pas s'épanouir, on risque de rentrer dans des siècles passés. Elle continuera à être matée parce qu'elle-même ne veut pas s'épanouir. Mais il y a moyen qu'elle puisse intégrer la société.
Pour une femme qui a la volonté de s'épanouir, mais qui n'a pas ces moyens-là, qui n'est pas exposée à ces informations-là.
She needs to be helped.
Wait, let me answer that question. If you have something you really committed to, if you really want to do if you have, let's say you have a business plan and you're committed to that, now the internet is there. I can get information.
But not everybody has internet access.
Wait. Okay, right now I don't have internet access, but I can go.
You have a cell phone.
Wait. I can go at the clinic. There are various clinics around. No, wait. Let me express myself. Don't rush. Give me time.
Go
Chill.
ahead.
What I'm saying is, if you want to do something, commit yourself. You will do research. Albert Einstein, he failed so many times. He did his research. They didn't even have internet as much as we have now. They didn't have, the technology wasn't as advanced as we had now, as ours is now. But he committed himself. He was committed to what he wanted. He put in the effort. He went beyond. He saw his boundaries are going to be there. It's not going to come easy, but you have to go beyond those boundaries.
All right, Kaiten, to close this, literally, guys, I am closing this, please. We have to move on. We have a time limit here. When you speak from the point of view of a kid who grew up in Joburg, who owns a cell phone. Now,
I speak as a disadvantaged kid.
Can I? Please? Thank you. I'm a 19-year-old girl. I live in the rural villages in Kenya. I don't even know what Wi-Fi is. I've never been in a single class my whole life because I haven't been able to reach where the educational facilities are. There is no clinic, there is no Wi-Fi. There isn't even tapped water, do you understand? Do you not think I need someone from the United Nations to come through and say, okay, here are the opportunities. Here's what we are offering you. You could do this, you could do that. Do you agree or disagree? I just need a yes or no from you.
To a certain
That
extent.
she's limited and she needs that person,
To
right?
a certain extent.
That's the point we were trying to make. We were not trying to argue with you and say everybody needs
No, that's different.
Hold on. We were not trying to say everybody needs direction, okay? That's the point
I
we were
appreciate
trying
the
to
way
make.
you've asked your question now. Before, you didn't word your question like that. Before
Do
it
you
was
get it now?
somebody needs to, you have something in you. No,
Wait.
but I agree with you.
Can I
To
just
a
say
certain
something?
extent.
Okay, Maria.
Although you're a 19-year-old girl in a rural area in Kenya, there are still companies, organizations that go to places like that and offer help.
That's exactly what we're saying. The companies come and offer
But
help
No,
and
that's not-
guidance.
No, you didn't ask your question like that
Exactly. You
No,
say
the question
say-
I asked, it was like I was speaking for those who didn't have that opportunities.
It's rather your understanding of the question that was hindered.
Your wording of the
Anyways,
question.
with that,
Can I just say something?
Sarah?
I think we need to try not to think in isolation. The reality of everybody's life is different.
True.
The reality of her environment, people around her are completely different to somebody who maybe has been forced to live in another country, who's been forced to build themselves because of situations. So she may come from a background where at a particular age you ought to be married. And if you're not married, you're waiting for the husband to come. So how is she going to know that she should do something with her life? If not for the people around her who will, going back to the topic, building smart, who will come through and build her. Not necessarily tell her that you need to do something with your life, but tell her that there are more opportunities beyond you waiting for the husband to come, because her society says after 18, if you're not married, there's nothing that comes well out of your life. She doesn't know another woman around her. She's never seen a woman who is not married and successful, who has never seen a woman who is not with a husband or a family and successful. How then do you help that young lady build? So
Dorcas?
people are needed to build smart.
Vous savez, il faudrait qu'on se comprenne bien. Parce que nous sommes, en fait, vous êtes basés sur la technologie, comme si sans la technologie, une femme ne peut pas être femme. Non. Parce que si vous voyez nos mamans, et même celles qui les ont précédées, est-ce que ces femmes-là ont vécu avec la technologie? Non. Mais ces femmes-là n'ont-elles pas fait de grandes choses? Elles ont fait ces choses-là. Comment est-ce que moi je viendrais t'aider si toi-même tu ne sais pas sur base de quoi il faudrait qu'on t'aide? Là, nous sommes tous basés sur la technologie. La technologie existe.
Non, Vanessa, on n'est pas basé sur la technologie. Ce que tu es en train de dire, c'est ce qu'elle est en train de dire.
Because even, sorry,
Tu es en train de dire la même chose
C'est basé
qu'elle.
sur l'exemple de cet enfant de 19 ans qui n'a pas de Wi-Fi.
On ne s'est pas seulement basé là. C'était juste un exemple.
Oui, parce que lorsque nous répondons,
Parce que
nous
aujourd'hui
devons
là,
être, Madame, s'il vous plaît,
aujourd'hui là,
laissez-moi finir, s'il vous plaît. Lorsque nous répondons, nous devons être fidèles. Fidèles dans quel sens? Nous devons faire les choses à parts égales. Parce qu'il y a ces femmes-là qui peuvent suivre cette émission et des femmes qui ne peuvent pas. Alors nous ne pouvons pas nous baser seulement sur celles qui doivent suivre ça. Nous devons nous baser sur toutes les femmes, toutes celles qui ont besoin d'aide. Alors nous n'allons pas seulement nous baser sur une certaine catégorie de personnes, non. Parce que je peux aussi faire quelque chose qu'elle ne peut pas. Je peux faire une chose sans Internet. Je peux faire des pop-corn, je peux faire des beignets, je peux faire tout ce que je peux sans Internet. Je n'ai pas besoin de l'Internet pour ça.
Oui, mais tu peux faire ces pop-corn-là si demain tu n'es pas exposé à cette opportunité où on peut te dire que ces pop-corn-là, tu peux le faire devenir international.
Mais le problème est que pourquoi il faut qu'on me dise?
Hold on, she has another point to make, then you'll just rebuttal from what she has to say.
I'd just like to add on to what Vanessa said. Okay, I'm going to try and use an example that's outside of technology.
Please.
If I am a fashionista and I dress really well, I live in the village. Let's go back to the village. Let's go back to outside of city life. And there's a lady in my area who is a very well-known tailor. She's got lots of clients. And she always sees that I have good taste. I believe a part of building is her coming to me and say, you know what, Sarah, I love the way you combine your colors. I love what you do. What do you do? And I tell her, no, I'm not studying, I'm not working, I'm at home. They've sent my brothers to school and I can't go. And in her telling me, you know what, I can take you inside my atelier, you come and I'll teach you. That is a form of building. It's not necessarily just in terms of technology. In terms,
and go to her instead and be like,
not everybody knows that
is
it is an opportunity.
Not everybody got that courage.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
So we
Self-confidence.
But okay, I'm trying to say we need to help those who are watching us. Even if they're staying home, they say that no, I have something in me. Let me try and move on.
You're telling people, wait for someone to come and tap you.
No. It's
Wait.
not
Tell me
the message.
which motor vehicle company approached Elon Musk and asked him that, how do you make the Tesla? Let us help you make it. Did Mercedes, who approached him?
That's the point I'm trying to make.
If you see that,
if you expect everyone to have the same mindset.
It's not a mindset. You're talking about something that is totally different. If you feel like this person who's a tailor, okay, they have plenty of customers. Let me try and wait.
It's never been on my vision. I never saw that I could make clothes.
This is the problem. Okay, wait. If that person, wait.
Nobody in my environment
tell you something.
who's a businesswoman. Everyone in my family is either a nurse or a chef.
No competition.
Nobody.
Have you heard of competition?
But we're talking of people in isolation, people who don't live where we live. They're not a part of
It's
the
not a
Web
part.
2.0. They don't know.
Le pasteur veut dire quelque chose. Si on peut l'entendre aussi quelques minutes.
En fait, je voulais un peu intervenir par rapport à la question de Maman Vanessa qui dit pourquoi seulement on doit informer la femme. En fait, s'il n'y avait pas de problème d'information, on ne serait pas là. Tout le problème, c'est que si la femme est celle qu'elle est aujourd'hui, c'est parce que ce qu'elle a eu comme information l'a retenue dans cette position-là. Maintenant, là, nous venons avec des choses pour lui dire, tu n'es pas un être inférieur, tu peux faire quelque chose. Et là, je pourrais dire que la sensibilisation a sa place pour que la femme puisse s'épanouir.
Thank you, Dorcas.
Can I just close up by saying the point you made is very valid. But if you haven't seen it in your environment, we all think differently. It's not everyone who is going to want to settle for the same thing. You obviously want something different for yourself. We just choose, I will say women choose to limit themselves.
Exactly.
That's
And
what I
can
would
I
say.
just add to the fact that at times it's not even what you're not told, it's what you're told. They told you that you cannot. So if you listen to that, you remain the way you are. But if you think and be like, okay, they told me that I cannot, that a woman cannot open a business. Let me try and prove them wrong. Nobody told you that you can prove them wrong. You yourself,
True.
you thought it and told yourself, let me try. It's all about trying. Even when you see that there's an opportunity or you don't see, make.
True.
All right.
True.
So, on this here topic, let's agree to disagree. Okay? And with
To a
that
larger
said,
extent.
I beg your pardon?
To a larger extent.
To a larger extent, yes. Let's agree to disagree. Because I think there's been several instances of miscommunications. But at the end of the day, we're all here to empower women.
But the
and
show,
to help women build
the
themselves.
show is supposed to educate women. We
Exactly.
cannot say that we have to agree to disagree. At some point, we have to come to a
To a
conclusion.
And we still have an
that is
entire
going
topic to go
help
through. And
other
trust
people.
you me, no one is leaving here until we reach a conclusion.
It's about to get heated.
Okay, now with that said, let's try to find common ground. Can each and every one of you give me, even if two agree on the same thing, one thing or one aspect that a woman can refer to or do to help her build herself? We're going to start with Vanessa. One thing that can help a woman to build themselves. Just one.
La femme doit se connaître elle-même. C'est tout ce que je peux dire.
Self-knowledge. Okay. Dorcas.
Confidence.
Confidence. Kaiten.
Independence.
Independence.
Development.
Development. Maria?
Understanding. You must understand yourself first, and then you can actually see how you can build yourself.
So self-knowledge and understanding.
Yes.
Self-awareness, basically.
Exactly.
Pastor?
La femme a besoin de l'information et de la formation pour qu'elle puisse se développer et aller de l'avant.
All right. Sarah?
I believe a woman has to put before her positive examples or role models, even though they may not have direct contact with her, but we are a product of what we see oftentimes. So if she can surround herself with images or people that she sees that she wants to become, it would help her build smart. That's
So
what I think.
direction.
Yes, she must
All
have
right.
role models, people in front of her that help her build herself.
See, guys, we don't need to fight. We're all here for the same thing. All right. Now, with that said, unfortunately, my co-host is going to have to leave us. And so for that, we're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, it's just going to be me and my panel. Don't kill me. I'm alone. My defense is leaving me. So we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. You're watching Our Realities, and this is our Women's Month discussion.
Et comme ça, je
Right.
vous dis, restez scotchés à votre écran. Ça devient encore plus chaud que maintenant.
Hello and welcome back to TCTV's Our Reality. Today we're hosting TCI's annual Women's Month discussion, and we've already gone through the two first parts of our show whereby we spoke about thinking equally and building smart. Right, now for the third and final part of our show, we're going to be talking about innovation for change. Right, in this part of our show, basically we will be discussing women in the workplace, financial development, as well as building yourself as a woman or as a prominent member in society in the business world. Right, our first question reads as follows. Are women actually innovative? And if so, substantiate. Vanessa?
Je dirais oui. Oui, pourquoi? Parce que, comme il a été dit dans la discussion précédente, la femme Et là, je ne sais pas si le mot que moi j'ai en français dit vraiment la même chose de ce qui est écrit ici en anglais. Innover, n'est-ce pas?
Ouais.
Je ne sais pas si Pasteur Jérémie comprend. Oui. Je pense que la femme est aussi appelée à faire ça. Pourquoi? Parce que tout en restant calme, je peux être là en train de faire quelque chose, ou soit quelqu'un d'autre peut être là en train de faire quelque chose, et moi je suis là calme, et je suis en train de copier dans le silence ce que l'autre femme est en train de faire. Maintenant, quel est le rôle que la femme là a joué envers moi? Je ne sais pas si vous comprenez un peu ce que je dis.
Oui.
Parce qu'elle est là en train de faire ce qu'elle est en train de faire, et moi dans le silence, je viens pour copier ce qu'elle a fait. Et je vais ailleurs, je fais aussi ce que la femme là a dit, et ça m'aide aussi à évoluer. Et chez moi, la femme là, c'est elle qui a joué ce rôle là en moi. Ce rôle là d'innover, c'est elle qui a joué ça en moi. Donc je trouve que la femme aussi est appelée à innover.
Okay. Well, Sarah?
Yes, I'd actually like to use an example that I think is common to our generation. It's one of a digital platform called YouTube. We have over, I think, thousands of lifestyle bloggers or vloggers, and they do the same thing. But you find that these different women are all innovative in their little box. There's one that specializes on wig making. There's another one that specializes in 3D makeup. So I do believe a woman is very innovative, and she's able to influence other people. And just adding on to what Vanessa says, a lot of the vloggers that have come up now have actually followed in the footsteps of those who already started. They literally copied a YouTube channel that they were already watching for months on end, and they decided to go into the business and use the platform and to promote themselves. So the woman is very innovative in terms of using technology as well. She's been innovative in our society.
Oui, Pasteur Jérémie?
En fait, lorsqu'on parle du changement, le changement lui-même répond au principe ou à la loi de l'addition et de la soustraction. S'il n'y a pas de nouvelles choses, on ne peut pas parler du changement. On ne doit pas s'attendre à d'autres résultats si on fait les mêmes choses et de la même manière. Alors si la femme veut être une personne qui apporte le changement, donc elle doit être une innovatrice. S'il n'y a pas d'innovation, on ne peut pas parler du changement.
Well, my next question is as follows. There are more women who complete their university degrees. There are 38% of women more who complete their university studies as compared to men, whereby there's only 33% of men who complete their university studies. However, women are still under men when it comes to the business field, when it comes to developing themselves financially. Because when you look at a woman, you see a woman maybe in the primary sector of jobs and job creation, whereby it's small business or self-employed. We don't really get women up there in the corporate world when we look at it internationally, not nationally in South Africa. So do you guys think that maybe women are underrepresented, Divine?
I would like to say women have actually overcome our fears. We have overcome as one. If we look at so many ladies out here, we're placing education first aside. We have grown our business into bigger levels that we thought. We're talking about planting hair, as our lady here spoke about makeup, 3D makeup. I'm giving an example as myself. I never went to school for makeup and all that. I learned by myself. And as now we're talking here, I have my own business standing up, and which means that I overcame my fears. As we say that, I cannot complain because I'm seeing myself in one of the 93% of that lamb. That's what I would like to say.
But it's one thing to be able to start your own business and to get it off the ground and to do that. But do you think women get as much promotion or exposure as men in terms of how they're represented out there and their business? I'm going to take it over here to Maria.
Well, I think it depends. It depends on what kind of business we're talking about. Let's say in the makeup sphere, as she said, women are well represented. well represented. When it comes to fashion, women are represented. When it comes to things that are more feminine, they are represented. But when it comes to things such as entrepreneurship, it's rare for you to hear that, oh, I follow that female entrepreneur, or that female engineer, or that female pilot, because there's this stigma that certain things are for a certain gender. So I don't believe that they're well represented. I stand by the opinion that they're unrepresented.
Okay, so if we say they are underrepresented, can we give any factors or any reasons as to why women are not being, is it a government thing, or is it a personal thing, or is it maybe a societal issue, as to why we don't have as many female entrepreneurs and business tycoons as we do males? Sarah?
Okay. I do believe that women are underrepresented, but it is because the fields in which these women find themselves are usually male-dominated industries. So if you're working in an environment where 69% of the people working there are male, it is a rare circumstance where you find that if you are the manager, where they would easily talk about it, that they would share with their other colleagues outside of your enterprise that our department is doing so well because we're led by a woman. So society itself already underrepresents women, it's more especially in the workplace, because we know that there are challenges of where women are not paid, they don't receive an equal pay to men, even though they may have the same qualification, they may be doing the same job, and even have a little bit more experience, but she always gets paid less because she's a woman. And it's true, women are underrepresented.
So my next question is, do you think that women are unable to grow themselves in terms of the business field or in terms of innovation because of the injustices they face at the workplace, because of males who feel intimidated that if the woman becomes as successful as a man or even more, then she will lose respect for the man? Karen?
Please repeat the question.
Do you think that women are hindered from growing or stopped from growing themselves in terms of innovation because of male insecurities as to the fact that if women do grow themselves in the business or the work field, they will become dominant over the man?
Not really, because if you know what you want in life and you know what you're going about, if you know what you're doing, you wouldn't let anything stop you from doing it. And it's more about knowing who you are. As you said, male can be a challenge and stuff. Not necessarily a challenge. It's just about sticking to what you want to do and holding it tight, not letting it go. Because saying that male and things around are disadvantages or stopping you from doing what you're doing is just an excuse. Because it's not about, it's not the people that are around you that are making you. It's about what you want to make yourself.
So my next question to Vanessa is, do you feel that men feel intimidated by successful women and that's why they try to stop them from becoming innovative?
Ce qui est vrai que on ne peut pas aussi ignorer certaines choses que nous voyons. Il y a de ces femmes qui, quand elles commencent à avoir l'argent, ou elles commencent à, je peux dire, quand elles commencent à toucher plus d'argent que les hommes, il y a de ces femmes-là qui se prennent un peu la tête. Elles se mettent au-dessus de leur mari. Ce que nous devons faire, c'est quoi? Sur cette question, concernant cette question, je pense que de notre part, il faudrait que nous puissions aider ces femmes-là à comprendre que peu importe combien tu touches, l'homme reste homme, le mari reste mari. Alors c'est ça souvent la raison, parce qu'il y a des femmes qui deviennent insolentes suite à ça, et il y a certains hommes qui ne peuvent pas aussi accepter ça. Et pour couper court, ils vont interdire à leurs femmes. Ils vont interdire à leurs femmes d'aller travailler. Et à qui la faute? À la femme. Pourquoi? Parce que j'ai eu beaucoup d'argent et je me suis mal comporté. C'est un peu...
Pasteur Jérémy?
Au fait, c'est cette peur-là que nous devons faire éviter aux hommes. Dans la société traditionnelle, je connais un coin où les hommes disaient les habits que nous avons, si ce sont les femmes qui les achètent, peut-être nous les aurons déjà confisqués. Vous voyez, quand l'homme a dans sa pensée cette idée-là, il voit que si la femme devient forte, elle a de l'argent, elle émerge, elle risque de prendre la place de l'homme. Mais je crois que la réponse que Maman Vanessa vient de donner, c'est une réponse qui doit aider les femmes à se dire le rôle de la femme dans le foyer reste son rôle là. Si nous inversons les rôles parce que nous avons eu quelque chose, nous créons les conflits. Mais nous devons aussi encourager les hommes à se dire, même si la femme monte, si elle-même sait qu'elle reste femme, il n'y a pas d'inconvénient qu'elle puisse monter et émerger dans d'autres domaines, mais rester femme dans les foyers.
So, what you guys, basically based on what Vanessa said, do you think that it's fair? I'm opening the question to everyone, by the way. Do you think that it's fair for a man to stop his woman from working just because she earns more or she's more successful than him, because she's starting to become proud of her accomplishments? I mean, should I be now forced to quit my job because you as my husband, for example, are not working, and now that I'm paying the bills and people know that I'm the one who's paying the bills and I am proud of this, is it fair for you to now tell me to quit my job, Debbie?
What I can say, no, for me. First of all, as women, we need to have respect. As Vanessa from saying, we need to have respect towards our husband. As is the chief of the house, we need to respect them. First of all, I can work and
But what if the respect is there, he just feels intimidated now that his friends know, people know that you make maybe, let's say for example your husband is unemployed and you work, so everybody knows that basically you are the one who's paying the bill. So now he feels threatened, his position as a man, as the authority in the home is threatened. Do you think it's fair then for him to say, okay, you need to quit your job or look for a job that pays less, or help me stay home and help me find a job, because it's your job to respect me. Out of respect for me, you can't be more successful or have more authority than me. Do you think that's fair?
Yes, I understand what you're trying to say, but I wanted to say it in this way, in this form. A man, you can tell me to quit my job because of what you're hearing outside, but you also have to see the future, see the house. Where would we be? How are we going to pay rent? How the life is going to be? That's why I was saying, firstly, respect. There need to be understanding. You guys need to talk. There need to be like a conversation between the two couples. When you guys fix stuff, even the world can say anything. You guys know who you are. And there is peace in the house. When there is peace, I don't think the husband can tell you, no, I don't want this job. Okay. Yeah.
Divine?
I don't think it's fair. We're looking at a way, I'm talking about in two families, different families. It's not only the money that I'm receiving, it's also the money that to help both family other ways. I cannot always ask you, baby, I want this money to help out my mom. No, I need money that I can help me and you, including my family. We from, most of us, okay, maybe some of us, we from a bad background, which God helped me to help others. So I went to school, not for nothing, for me to sit home and I'm like, okay, husband have to do this, and anytime I'm like, husband, mom need, it's not
So
not
would you
right.
sacrifice your marriage for your job?
No, I'm not trying to say that. Either ways, we can do 50-50s. Because we together, it doesn't mean that I have to block my life or put down my education for you to take over me. No, marriage is all about 50-50s. Not in the way that he has to take 70 and 30%.
Okay.
No.
Let me take the question over to this side. Maria, would you sacrifice?
I wouldn't, because first of all, build your confidence. If you think that my pride is overtaking me, take me back and be like, honey, let's work together. But
What if that doesn't work?
no, the thing is, the thing with men, okay, that's my opinion. The thing with men, they feel threatened by the fact that a woman earns more than them and they think that they will overtake them. But usually it's not
Hold
the
on.
case.
Pasteur Jérémy, do you agree with that?
Bon,
Que l'homme se sent inférieur dès que sa femme commence à gagner plus que lui.
c'est un sentiment noble. Hein. C'est souvent l'orgueil masculin qui est touché. Alors l'homme se sent touché dans son fort intérieur. Mais du moins, ce qui peut amener l'homme à ça, c'est l'attitude de sa femme. Comment cette femme-là, qui commence à gagner plus que son monsieur, commence à se comporter. Si elle se comporte bien, nos biens, notre maison, notre voiture et tout ça, l'homme a accès à toutes ces histoires facilement. Je ne pense pas que l'homme va se sentir diminué. Mais il y a des femmes, lorsqu'elles commencent à toucher plus qu'un homme, vous devenez un esclave.
Et quand elle fait ça, est-ce que ça donne à l'homme le droit de dire à sa femme de quitter son travail parce que maintenant elle commence à, comment dire, à assumer le rôle de l'homme dans la maison ou bien dans le foyer? Est-il juste? C'est pas assez juste, c'est question de se parler. Question de se parler pour trouver un terrain d'entente parce que la femme a étudié et elle contribue non seulement au foyer mais à la société. Si vous l'interdisez de travailler, vous voyez ce que vous êtes en train de faire. Peut-être son apport dans ce qu'elle fait est très important. Vous l'interdisez pour vous-même, c'est de l'égoïsme. Alors c'est bon de se parler et de voir comment elle doit revenir et continuer à travailler parce que ça va vous aider, vous aussi et les enfants.
Peniel, si je pourrais ajouter sur ces points, sur base de ce que tu as dit, que si les gens sont déjà au courant que c'est la femme qui fait ceci, c'est la femme qui fait cela, sur ces points-là, il faut que nous puissions aider ces gens-là qui se retrouvent dans cette situation-là. On ne vit pas aux dépens des autres. On ne vit pas selon ce que les gens disent. D'où les dialogues importants. Parce que si moi je sais ce que j'ai fait et mon mari sait ce que nous deux nous faisons, c'est fini, on s'arrête là. Parce que le fait d'écouter aussi, le fait d'écouter, ça, en fait, ça ajoute quelque chose. Et l'homme, c'est normal. Parce que les hommes, quand ils se retrouvent entre eux, ils parlent. Nous aussi, les femmes, quand nous nous retrouvons entre nous, nous parlons. Voyez un peu. Il est question d'aider seulement ces gens-là, qu'ils fassent leur vie comme bon leur semble et qu'ils ignorent tout ce que disent les gens. Parce que les dires des gens sont ce qu'ils sont. Et ça n'instruit en rien. Et si nous nous faisons allusion à ces choses-là, c'est nous qui perdons. Je trouve que c'est un peu ça.
Non, mais ça dépend aussi de ces dires-là. Qu'est-ce qu'on a entendu?
C'est ça.
Il y a des gens qui peuvent constater, s'il vous plaît, il y a des gens qui peuvent constater que dans ces foyers-là, c'est la femme qui fait tout. La femme elle-même n'a rien dit. Mais les gens ont constaté, ont commencé à dire. Là, l'homme ne peut pas, ne doit pas suivre ce que les gens disent. Mais que ce soit la femme elle-même qui dit, chez moi, le minerval peut changer de genre. On peut dire la minerval parce que tout, c'est maman qui fait. Vous voyez, lui ne fait rien. Parce que les femmes sont capables de ça, maman. Vous êtes capable de ça. Lorsque c'est vous qui faites quelque chose, vous faites que tous les quartiers sachent qu'à la maison, maintenant c'est moi.
Sarah, do you agree with that?
Yes, there is a lot of truth in what Pastor Jeremiah said. There's a lot of truth in it because it's in our nature as women that when you haven't achieved a certain thing in your life, and once you find yourself in that position or in that level, you may go a little bit extra and beyond, and you tend to forget it actually doesn't just work with your husband, it's your entire environment.
But am I to be condemned for being proud of my accomplishments and you being ashamed of your shortcomings?
I feel when it is now affecting our union, because remember, marriage is a partnership, it's an agreement.
Which is why you should support me.
If two cannot agree, then they cannot walk together.
Each other.
Yes, because it's our union. So it shouldn't just be about your achievement. It's, yes, of course, I have to celebrate you, I have to support you, but you must still remember that you're my wife. You're still the mother of my children. Your behavior, your character will impact our lives, whether we like it or not. So it is true. Women do tend to change when opportunities are made more available to them. And it's something that needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be discussed. And we need to help those who are having this challenge.
But with that in mind, as the... Okay,
Karen, I'm going to let
what
you.
she said.
Okay. I would say actually it's a mental issue. Because if the man feels...
A bit louder, please.
If the man starts to hear what people are saying, obviously he's going to feel that, okay, now she's doing everything and people see me as I'm not capable of doing it. So as the woman, you should try to understand and you should
you shouldn't only think about how you taking care of the family and how it's important, but you should sit down and make it like a talk between the two of you. Try to make it understand that this is about you guys and what you guys are doing, and also not actually give up on your job. As you said, the guy is going to say this is unfair and you should give up on your job and stuff. You should try to make him understand why you're doing the job and why this and that, and try to erase what people are saying that is sitting in his mind. And yeah.
Debbie?
I wanted to say that there are also some women in the house. They know that I'm earning a lot of money, more than my husband. You can still cover him. There are many ways to bring peace in the house. A woman brings peace.
But as the pastor said, sometimes the woman is trying to cover, but if everybody knows that your husband does not work, but there are cars in the house and there's money being spent and you dress well, they can put two and two together and realize that, okay, this woman is the one who wears the pants in the home.
Okay, what I can say is this. If you know that, I'm just it's an advice to all women that are watching us all over the world. I'm saying that if you know that you're earning a lot of money more than your husband, they still can decide to make a family business, that your husband can run it. You guys agree on something, because there are also some women, they know that I'm earning a lot of money. They are the one going outside telling people that I'm the one paying rent, I'm the one doing that and that.
But don't you think if the man was the one who was making money, who was the one who supports the family financially, he would also continuously remind the woman that I am the one who's in control here.
That's different. That's totally different.
So why is it fair? Isn't that double standards? My question is, why is it fair for a man to assume his authority? Because we're speaking about equality, gender equality, right? So why is it fair? I'm going to close with, why is it fair for a man to assume his role and also implement it and make sure that the woman is always reminded that he is the one who is in control? But when the woman does it, it's not fair.
Okay, if I
Sarah?
can just answer, I think let us move away from the whole topic of money, because in a relationship, in a lifestyle, it's not just money.
Let's talk about success then.
Yes, in the role of in a marriage role, it wouldn't just be a money that raises a family. A father has a lot more importance than just the money he can provide for his children. Same as with the mother. She may be bringing in the money, but he's raising the children. He's putting values in them. He's disciplining them. He's teaching them how to have self-respect. He's teaching them how to have a spiritual life. So it has to go beyond money, because when we talk about money, it's material things that finish. I want to give an example. Let's say my husband and I are both very successful and we're advocates in the country where we live, and because of a political reason we're forced to go and seek asylum in another country, and they don't take our qualifications seriously. So we find ourselves in a position where we're starting from scratch, yet we had a life, we built a family, we built a reputation, we built a name. We moved to a new country where we have to do jobs we never thought we could do. Maybe I was an advocate and my husband was an engineer, and now I'm a cleaner. My husband is a security guard. So it shouldn't be because of money that a woman should behave a certain way. And it's not the whole image of a woman earning more. No. Providing for the family is like, I believe a lot of people like to say it's a 50-50 thing, because even our mothers who were working in markets, they still provided for our families. Even our grandmothers who had businesses, they sold African materials, they still provided for the family. They never spoke about it. They never told people that she bought the house or the land which the father built the house on was her money.
So basically money shouldn't rule
it should
how
not,
your relationship
not at all.
goes.
It should
Okay,
not.
Maria, let's just hear from you quickly.
Well, I'm of the opinion that we shouldn't listen to what other people are saying, because after all, it's who told us that if a wife earns more than the husband, it's wrong, and if the husband earns less than the wife or more than the wife, there's a problem in it. It's what we hear that actually conflict with our relationship with our spouses. So if we close our ears and we keep our ego inside, there won't be a problem if my husband earns less than me.
All right, so that's going to conclude today's discussion. But before we end the show, I'd like to give everybody an opportunity to give a final message, a shout out if you may, just before we close. So we're going to start with Debbie.
Okay, thank you so much for watching us, and I would like to advise all women that are sitting there, and I want you to be strong. I want you to open your mind, think far, and trust yourself. Just know who you are. That's what I can say. Thank you.
Divine?
I would like to advise women out there to just overcome their fears. They must remove this thing of husband, or gender, female or male. It's not about that. We're all getting the same education. Let's go explore and do our best.
All right.
I would say find yourself, because it's all about finding yourself in life. If you do not know who you are and what you want, you wouldn't succeed. That's all I want to say. So be successful by finding yourself.
Vanessa?
Merci beaucoup. Et ce que moi je pourrais dire à la femme que je suis et aux femmes qu'elles sont et que vous êtes, est seulement de prendre courage, de ne pas chercher à copier chez les autres, parce que beaucoup ont échoué sur base de ça. Chaque femme est appelée à remplir son propre questionnaire de vie, tout en se connaissant soi-même. J'ai toujours dit, ce qu'un homme peut faire, ce que 10 femmes peuvent faire, même un homme ne saura pas le faire. C'est ça.
Sarah?
What I'd like to say is we are all responsible for what we become. And as much as we try to live in isolation and only think about who we are and what we are, sometimes if we take time to invest in the person next to us, we actually find out who we are. If you're willing to take some time and build somebody else, you may not need the building, but the person next to you needs it. If you take time to build the person next to you, in actual fact, you are building yourself. In actual fact, you are developing yourself and you are changing a nation that you may never know of. So for me, what I'd like to say to all the women who are watching the show, to everyone who came here, I believe we've all taken something home with us, and it is our responsibility to change our society by building the person closest to us. The first step is the one right next to you. Build that person, and the future will be brighter.
Pasteur Jérémy?
Ok, merci. Ce que je peux dire, je voulais interpeller à toutes les femmes que les têtes que Dieu vous a données ne sont pas des étiquettes. Donc Dieu ne vous a pas donné des têtes seulement pour la beauté, mais c'est aussi pour réfléchir. Donc la femme est capable. La femme a été créée pour résoudre un problème. Quand Dieu a créé la femme, il a trouvé qu'il n'était pas bon. Alors maintenant que celle qui est venue pour résoudre un problème se retire, elle risque d'être elle-même un problème. Alors, comprenez qu'on ne demande pas de l'aide à une personne faible. Si Dieu dit que la femme c'est une aide, donc elle est capable. Donc en un mot, je peux dire à toutes les femmes que vous êtes capables de réfléchir, vous êtes capables d'amener de nouvelles choses. Alors levez-vous, unissons-nous pour changer le monde.
Maria?
Well, I like to say that we should take initiative and teach others to also do that. In that way, we'll build a society that is based on women empowering themselves and others.
All right. Now, from me, your host, Reniel Ganda, a big thank you to everybody who joined us today. And my message to all the women, first of all, it wouldn't be just for me to conduct or host a show about women and women empowerment without recognizing the beautiful, wonderful, amazing, words cannot describe, my own mother, who, if I am where I am today, it is 99% thanks to her. So if she could make a woman out of me, then I'm sure any woman out there can make a worthy woman out of any other woman. As Sarah said, we need to build each other. So a big shout out to you, Mom. And to all the women out there, our lawyers, our doctors, our engineers, our architects, every kind of woman. I believe a woman can do literally anything. And if we're sitting here today, it's not to teach women that they can do anything, because I believe they already know that. It's to teach them that they can be equal and to enlighten everybody else on equality between men and women. So to all the women out there, a big thank you and a happy Women's Month. This was me, Peniel Kanda, and my incredible and very, very intelligent panel of discussion here during our annual TCI Women's Month discussion. And from us, it's a big thank you for watching and goodbye.